you through it.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the SDFC Fancast.
Alrighty then.
This is a special episode to us. It's going to be a short one, but we just want to talk about the very first home match for San Diego FC. We can't believe it's here. Can't believe it's here. It already happened. Can't believe it happened. Can't believe it was here and that we lived it. I don't know. It just feels like there has been so much buildup throughout the year, especially for the first home match in particular. So our first match, we won against LA Galaxy, defending champions who never lost at home the previous season. But, second game, I feel like this was really the culmination of everything. And I don't know. I thought it was amazing. I still am kind of like coming down from everything from the first game. I feel like it was that much intensity and all that. But I do want to give the floor to Colonial for a second. Drove all the way down from Montana to come to San Diego FC's first home match. Came to the tailgate. We forced him to walk down the hill because we live up the hill. Julie and I forced him to walk down and just live that life. So how was it, Colonial?
Oh, it was great, man. The walk down on the way there was amazing. On the way up, after the night, a little tougher. But yeah, I was sick. I'm in my parents' bedroom right now, and I'm tired,
Oh, yeah.
a little nasally, not sounding as professional because I'm kind of coming down from it as well. But man, incredible. I mean, yeah, it was incredible, man. A ton of wonderful people. The supporters groups all brought it, and a little bit of drama and all that. But like the team itself looked amazing. How we play and just the energy was awesome. Everybody was just good vibes, having so much fun, and then like literally just thanks to everybody I met. And it was such a. I'm really tired still, but it was a fun day. And Nate, I appreciate you and Julie kind of sherpaing me through the festivities.
Absolutely. I threw a Colonial through the ringer. So all this whole year, all the chrome balls and everything we've all been talking about that for this first tailgate. This first tailgate is going to be amazing. It's going to be crazy. And it was amazing. And it was crazy in like the good energy crazy. There was nothing bad happened, nothing like that. It was all just very positive stuff. And everyone was just so excited to do it. So you'd go down and it seriously felt like I did work at a carnival for a couple years when I was like 16 and 17 years old. And it felt like going down the main thoroughfare of the carnival, like when it's at its very peak, like you were like bumping into people and it was great. It was just one lane, a tailgate tense, but like when you're in the mix, it felt like, holy crap. It feels like, it felt like an insane event, like an insane sporting event. And the fact that all the supporters and stuff could create that the very first time, the very first home game, I feel like, they all deserve kudos. So kudos to all the supporters groups. I did introduce Colonial to about 50 people. So I'm sure you are feeling,
Yeah, I mean, I am
feeling drained
introverted.
a little
I'm
bit.
a little antisocial by trade, so it was my tank is pretty empty, but everyone was so nice, man.
Dude, you did great. And then, Josh let us put our stuff in his car and then, have some jackets left over, things like that. So, we had to leave some stuff because we walked down and everyone kept it safe for us and everything. So it's just a giant community. This community that we have built in the last 18 months or so came to fruition and it really was amazing to experience. I kind of, doing a poor job of articulating it, but it was great seeing everybody and it was really amazing being at that first home match. And that's just from the little bit of the supporter side and whatnot, us doing this fan cast forever. So we kind of were engaged on that side. But Keegan, you had some of the rich people tickets. How was it, dude? From your perspective?
Fantastic. First of all, it's only because poor Chris
Yeah,
was in.
I don't want to. I don't want to interrupt you, Keegan, but
Oh boy, here
I,
we
I,
go. All
I don't
right.
know. I don't know if you guys. Yeah, you're good. I don't know if you guys have
Joke.
have heard of it, but there's this thing going around called the novel coronavirus.
I
I don't
did.
know.
It's fake.
The only reason, the only reason, Christopher, I felt guilty because Colonial was missing. We told everybody he is because he got attacked by a bear, which is true. He killed the bear with his bare hands.
It's
But
proven.
the thing is I wanted to bring up the fact that you missed this podcast because you had coronavirus, but I didn't want to make Keegan mad because he doesn't believe in it. So I didn't know what to do. So
Yeah.
I
That's fair. Well, yeah, I am here now. Yeah, I was pretty offended you didn't bring me up last episode. I
Sorry,
feel like
I'm sorry. I'm
everybody
sorry.
just thought I was just cut out, which
I
to
brought
be
you up at the
honest,
end talking shit about how you make fun of us when we run.
It,
that is true.
yeah.
No, yeah, I got the Rona like right before the game. So, 15 months of waiting for this moment was stolen from me. But anyways, Keegan, you take the floor, bud. Sorry for interrupting you.
And you know
I
what,
just
Chris? In your defense, just to make everybody feel more sad for Chris, it is way more than a few months. These months, Chris Thomas is when I was watching soccer again because I got into it when I was young because I played and stuff like that, and then there was a big lull many years of my life. And then when I got back into it, Chris was the person I hit up. Chris was who I watched soccer with. Chris has always been the one who I've thought of in those regards. So for him to have to miss the first game because of stupid coronavirus did break my heart, and I brought it up many times that night. So just so you know, I felt very bad for you.
No, thank you. I love pity. Keep it coming.
That's true. Hey,
Yeah, I felt terrible too. When he first texted me, I was like, why don't you wait a couple days and see if you feel better and
I
then
love
decide
pity.
if you want to get rid of it. Because we were going to
Well,
sit in the supporter section next to you guys, but then the gods shone down on us. And we got because of Chris, everybody who has season tickets, Cox business section, which is
Ooh la
like the
la.
Lexus Club of Petco. If anybody's been to the Lexus Club at Petco,
Oh
it's like
shit.
the real nice area. But I'm an idiot, and it took until we went through the main gate. You get a private gate for those tickets. Didn't know that at all. Go through the main gate. It took us like half an hour to get in. Then we're waiting in line to buy like $85 tri-tip sandwiches and 2 beers. And Chris texted me, "What are you doing? You're out there with the peasants out on the main
The
floor."
plebs.
So then we walked in and we go in, and then it's just like there's harps and there's women with angel wings and they're shining down on you.
they're like
It's like,
waving you with
yeah,
like a big leash.
You immediately get handed a warm
eating
towel.
grapes. Yeah. No, but it
Give you
was
a
crazy.
lay.
Then yeah. They were really cool seats, like full indoor bar. And the coolest thing, if you follow us on Twitter, you can see they do the walkout with all the players of both teams. They sit in the hallway. So I did miss Manny on the pitch, which I was bummed about. I heard everybody chanting his name. I saw him walk by, gave him a thumbs up. But you get to sit and watch all the players are there, which everybody starts doing a big Chucky Lozano chant, yelling for Patty, for Islanders and everything. And then it's cool. And then they had St. Louis there, which everybody's booing. They get to walk out. Seats
Mhm.
are right on the pitch. It was amazing. But one quick thing before I'm done, just shout out to the call you and Nate and all the supporters. My wife and I Ubered there, and we got there at 6 when the gates opened, and the Uber dropped us off, and I was blown away by how many cars were there. It looked like, you're right, Nate. It's like a carnival. Like I got out and we were bummed, like, why didn't we come here earlier? It was crazy. The tailgating was incredible. It's like Chargers days of old at Qualcomm. So shout out to all the supporters groups and everything. It looked like you guys did a great job, and the game was very fun. Bummed about Chucky, obviously his injury, but we'll get into that. But yeah, overall for a first home game at Snapdragon, I think they did an amazing job. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and just to point out, sorry, from the fan side before we get into the game in particular, we brought up Max from MLS Italia. He came over and was there for the LA Galaxy game, but he came over for the first home game in particular. He said he was here on a honeymoon with his wife and said in 2015 was like, hey, when San Diego gets a team, I'm coming for the home game. And he was here. So kudos to Max. Gave him a fantasy shirt. So fantasy shirt. I was gonna bring up MLS Italia fantasy later, but I gave him a Fancast shirt. Sorry about that. And then he came to the Hopnonymous happy hour as well that Riptides hosted, but who also was there was some St. Louligans. So there were supporters. So one thing that's cool about MLS, and I'm gonna have to get used to, is supporters are nice to each other. And like they will reach out to other supporters groups and be like, hey, come have some beers with us before the game and this and that. Which I love. I
Love that.
actually think that that's awesome, and that is exactly what they did. So we met some St. Louligans and things like that, some St. Louis fans, and one of them was Coach Bobby, who lives in Arizona, actually from St. Louis, is a scout for a college there, and has him and I shared some fun stories, and then he has some awesome stories from scouting players in London. So yeah, that was really awesome.
Yeah, to
That's
your point,
badass.
Keegan, like it was, I think, I mean, we went to a few, well, I mean, we had a handful of Chargers tailgates we all went to. We put it down in our early 20s, but it was basically like that. And I think a lot of casual fans came out for this day. You know, they were just kind of looking for that similar Charger San Diego experience, something you could look forward to every Saturday or Sunday, right? Kind of similar thing when they're in town. And it was just like the vibes were just, there was no BS. There was no like fighting that I saw. It was all just, everyone was just like happy and just positive and all just kind of rallying around like the same thing. And I'll say it earlier because like that's all I cared about was focusing on the soccer and the football. How we play football and soccer is freaking gorgeous right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's
I
beautiful.
honestly think other teams are going to be annoyed with how good our team is right off the bat.
Yeah. Hey,
I
4
will-
points in 2 weeks. Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I will say that since I had this newfound disease that, I'm patient one.
That's called patient zero, my
Yeah, I
friend.
was like patient one's
Yeah.
patient. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but
The optics on TV were sensational. Like they like the lighting for like the opening ceremony or whatever you want to call it was just insane. Obviously the Manny thing was rad. It just looked so professional, so well done. Kudos to the SDFC marketing team or whoever does that shit, because it looked like a legit soccer city. It was just so well done. It was electric. The supporters section was phenomenal the whole game. You could hear them chanting the whole time. You guys chanting the whole time, I should say. It was just, it was just fantastic. So well done all around. Pitch didn't look that great
it's
on TV.
Do we
But,
talk about that? Yeah. And
It's a
live,
big
it didn't.
worry.
Live, you couldn't really see the difference, and
Yeah.
live, all those things you mentioned, like when the lights went down and they had the flow thing, and then Manny brought out that chrome ball that was lit up. Live, that also looked amazing. By the way, that was like
Yeah.
chills for sure. So that was really really cool. So all that, dude, like we're talking about the build up, and I do want to mention the Bar 18 fellas because the tailgate, because they still do tailgating for the Chargers up in LA, and I think that they're literally like
experts.
semi-professional at tailgating, and I feel like they have a big play in it. They do what Thunder Alley or something it's called and stuff. So everybody join the tailgate side. We got some freaking pros on our side, and I think that helped build that atmosphere. But dude, yeah, all the lighting and pyrotechnics, and did you guys see the drone shot that they posted on social media that they did like around the whole stadium?
Yeah.
It's
Holy
amazing.
shit, it was incredible.
And
Sorry, Keeks, it was the biggest or the most attended event in Snapdragon history. Took us one
Yeah.
game to do that. Where you at, SDSU?
yeah, no one goes. Yeah.
Now we
But all-
gotta make sure we keep doing that moving forward for home games. Sorry, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, well, we'll be at the next one, and you will be at the next one, Chris, pending COVID-20 enters your system or something. But I was gonna say the shout out to supporters, the tifo before the game was super cool. I thought that was We Are SDFC. It looked really cool. So supporters groups are just killing it every which way. Like you guys are doing an amazing job. That looked
I
amazing.
agree. I agree, man. I just want to like touch on the tifo because it looked good, and it's kind of like getting some slack on Reddit and things like that. This is like people like out of taking time out of their lives, fans and supporters going down and creating this thing, and it will continue to evolve and like I say, evolve. And so it's just I didn't realize that. Like, I thought it was like the team that kind of like had these big extravagant banners and stuff like that. But no, it's like these people that like have day jobs and they just love this thing so much. So it's like I feel like we all need a little bit more grace in this kind of overall first couple here year in our team's history. But to your point, the tifo was dope.
For sure. But one point is on Reddit today. It's Monday. So MLS on the MLS subreddit, it's me Monday, and you're supposed to make fun of all the other teams. So they're actually pretty
That's
nice
fair too.
about it. So it's actually so today is fair game. And that's why the fact that we were getting clowned was just like, hell yeah, we're getting talked about. Woo,
Fair enough.
let's do it. We're part
Fair
of
enough.
Me Monday now on the MLS subreddit. So I think that's a good thing, y'all. We're in. We're here. We made it. But
Yeah,
speaking of the game in particular, like we touched on in Kelowna, you touched on, but we have been saying it, and I joke with Julie, and it's like the episode of The Simpsons where Bart actually knocks over the set, and he's like, "I didn't do it," and then everyone's just like, "Say the line," and we just have kept saying the line like, "We play out of the back, possession-based football. It's going to be pretty. We're going to look good." And guess what? All those things have actually been true the first two games.
Yep.
And I felt the same way. Like St. Louis literally lined up against us with 5 defenders, So I think that they were also just have accepted the fact that we were going to be the dominant attacking side and all that. And I know we were the home team, but
they defended well. I mean, they
Galaxy
had
too.
a game plan. Yeah, they defended well. So kudos to them. But
I was going to touch on that, Nate. It was actually a 3-defender formation. If you actually like pre-game, they were set up as a 3-defender formation. I remember bringing it up to Trav, and I was like, "What the fuck are they thinking?" But in all reality, it ended up being more like a 7-defender formation because they just sat back.
They just fall back. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, our style of play is beautiful. We dominated that game. I want to say in like the 24th minute, the possession was like 78-22 or something like that. It was out of control. Jeppe is sensational. That guy you can tell he just has such control over the team, over the game. He's just might be our best signing, honestly. He is just so badass. Everybody played very well. Nate, I mentioned this to you last night, but Yaffelton, I feel like has been a very, very pleasant surprise. I played left back on Saturday, but wherever he plays on the defensive end, he's been very, very good. Super excited about him.
I agree. I wish he almost could have gotten a slightly more involved because he's the one guy that is pleasantly surprised me. He puts in a shift so far, and he's creative, and I want to see him slightly more attackingly involved.
No, Julie and I rewatched the game this morning. I think when SDFC released the lineup, see you later, Keegan. Did they have him on the left, but he really played on the right? Is what I felt like because they preloaded.
He was on the right
that side with Anders. So they released a lineup and they had him on the left, and I wonder if that was like a tactical change at the last second or something like that because of what St. Louis put out. But I agree with you, Chris. Like, dude, Julie and I were talking about that. He is all over the place, and I love the fact that he will go in on a tackle and he will also get right back up and like start that attack up the right side. And we were talking about that too. And I think that especially when Chucky got injured and Anders went more centrally, Laughlin became way more important in regards to starting the attack on that side, dude, he's again, I only have good things to say about our player. So I'm totally going to sound like a fanboy. Godoy as well. Like he's the announcers, 12 men of them were like, oh, we're so surprised. Like Godoy played X amount of minutes. He's this age, but he doesn't, him and Yepa, they really are professionals. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They're calm on the ball. Their fundamentals are sound. Like when the ball came to Godoy on his off foot, his left foot, out of the air, he fucking volleyed it and just happened to hit it at the goalie. The goalie got lucky, in my opinion. But the skill it takes to do that off the volley on your foot as you're running up, like I'm sorry, but our team is fucking good,
dude.
Can I be a contrarian?
Go for it, contrarian.
To stop the glaze fest.
Yeah,
I'm
we are a
joking.
bit of a
I'm
fan,
joking. I'm
honestly.
Stop
joking,
the
but
circle jerk.
I'm joking, by the way. But I think all your points are valid. We look very good. I think biggest worry, for me, I think a lot of us too during preseason was our defense, which that's out the window now. 2 clean
Yeah.
sheets. We're solid at the back. Patty McVeigh, they're holding everything down. It's good. It's just finishing at this point. Like, even if you go back to the first game, I feel like it's that final third. And I worry with Chucky being out. If I haven't heard of you, I've tried to look through to see. I know he did an MRI on Sunday, yesterday, or they were supposed to do testing. I haven't heard anything about him. I'm sure his hamstring's probably torn. Hopefully it's just pulled, but he's not out long. But I worry about him being out. There was a noticeable drop of play when Chuky's out compared to when he's in. And I worry long term if he's out for 6 weeks, how we go. I'm sure they're going to be able to reorganize and do something about it. We have enough guys. But that's my big thing now. We're solid, but it's just that like we should have won 2-3-0 that game. At final third, I feel like our finishing is just maybe it's new, maybe it's a new team, obviously, right? In a week they'll figure all that out. But that's my big worry. Like
I think
it's
so.
that final third getting it through. You know what I mean?
That goal scoring threat seemed to be the only outlet we didn't have because Anders can dribble through the defense. Chris, you and I were talking about that. And like I was talking to you, like I think he dribbled a little too much a few times, but then watching on TV, it's like, no, he was just trying to create something. And I think that creative side, like we're going to be very creative. We are we are I think putting a big onus on in Varson being that one lone person. And I do agree with you that maybe a better goal scoring outlet and that when Chucky got injured definitely changed how we played. Totally. I do think Tomas Angel could potentially be that. I think Luca De La Torre, his service and everything like that is amazing.
He
Again, that
played
creative
great.
side. Dude, in that, like, again, but I do agree with you. Maybe that one little goal scoring threat. I think that though, if we have Kevin De Bruyne, for instance, I can find maybe some of those passes that 1/2 second before some of the other players. I do think that like it feels like it'll just like give you 30% more opportunities. You know what I mean? It just seems like there would give you more opportunities. And then in regards to Chuky's injury, watching it live and then rewatching it today, it did feel like they're playing it safe. And that right when he felt a twinge, he was just like, I'm out. And
Yeah.
I really hope they
And
do that. Hey, our first 2 games haven't conceded, beat Galaxy, and then Drew, I'm down. Like, please play it safe for now. We need Chucky as our attacking DP and all that for a couple years. I think that's the right thing to do, and I hope that's what they're doing, and that's kind of what it felt like.
can I say something funny? When it happened, Chucky was right in front of my wife and I. He was right in front of us when he started limping and pulling and was pointing. And I went, oh no, I was like, he's really injured, like he's hurt. And then my wife Catherine goes, he's faking it as a joke. And then everybody looked around and they were like, and then she was like, I'm joking, like I was making a joke. It was really funny though, because everybody was like, oh, because everybody's screaming, oh no, she's like, he's faking it. Like it was really
You
funny.
fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Yeah.
Uh, Nate, we kind of chatted about this last night, but I've been hearing a lot of Keegan, did your wine glass just magically refill itself? What are you, Jesus?
Dude,
Anyways,
I was just about to say,
Wingardium
dude,
Wino.
Keegan is Catholic as fuck. Yes.
True.
uh, there's been a lot of talk about our depth with Chucky out, and who's going to step up, and do we have the depth to not he's irreplaceable, but at least to fill that void. I agree, Nate. I think Thomas on Hell is a great um, option to fill in there. I also, you guys know how I feel about Alexander Might, and I would love to see him get a start right there. Um, I mean,
Yeah,
I
Alexander Mighton hasn't had a minute yet, and they're talking about our depth. Sorry, you're right,
yeah, I
Chris.
know. Yeah, I mean, so I think we have depth, and the team. Remember, we literally just signed another player last week. We're probably going to continue to keep signing players. So who knows what's going to come over the course of the next few weeks. Hopefully, it's only a week or two injury. I agree, Nate. It seems like a precautionary measure. Chucky was just like, get me out of here. I felt a little twinge, so hopefully it's just a little minor pull. But Keegan, you do bring up a good point about the finishing and the final third. That being said, when a team like St. Louis is sitting back and literally it's nine guys back there, it's very difficult to find a hole, to be said. And so I mean that's no excuse. You're right. We need more quality touches at the end of the pitch there. But I don't know. I'm encouraged. It's still early. I think we'll be scoring a lot of goals.
I am too. I didn't mean to be Debbie Downer. I was just saying, like, I think that's
God damn
and that's if that's our weakness, then that's a great like our one thing. That's great. Like because we look really good. If that's all we have to worry about, and then a lot of it is like Nate was saying, like it's bad luck. Like Godoy, it's a good shot, it goes right at the goalie. That's gonna happen. I'm very pumped on this team. I think we look really good.
I agree too. And just kind of to wrap it up, Barkson I thought looked great this game, or solid this game. Last game he didn't. I don't feel like he looked that great. I mean, he didn't look bad, but this game I thought he had a couple good cracks. They were off target, but like he was in. He's not going to make these crazy runs, but he's just a smart striker that's going to get in good positions. So yeah, if we just had that, we're just that little creativity at the very end. But they were defending the pants off, like you said, Chris, and it's just like we had a lot of shots, all the possession. It happens in FIFA when you play pro clubs. It's going to happen in the MLS.
Yeah, and we're also asking a lot of Marcus Barson right away. Like,
yeah.
I do feel like that. I do feel like he's a good enough player to do it, and I feel like he's the perfect player to do that. But I also, on the other end, it is a lot to be that 1-point man for a brand new team, right away. And those things considered, everyone's done amazing. But and I will just say this. I got a text from my buddy Gianni, who's, part of the locals and everything, and he put it succinctly. He just said, "We should have won that shit."
Yeah,
So
100%.
I mean, it's
At
true.
least 1-0.
That's it.
Like, yeah.
But dude, other than that, pumped on everything.
Yeah.
I can't. If you're a soccer fan and you're watching this brand new expansion team and you're not pumped, then I don't know. I don't know. What are you watching?
We're in 4th place right now after 2 weeks. We've had 2 clean sheets. I thought for sure every game was going to be like 2-1 win, 1-2 loss. It was or 3-2 loss. The fact that like DeSantis has been doing great behind goal. Like our defense is shored up. I think they're kind of the unsung heroes. I saw too. We had more. Oh, I don't have it off the top of my head right now, but we had more passes. In the
Like
final half than they had like total of the game. We've been dominating possession. So, the team's new. It's been like 8 weeks they've been together. Overall, 4 points in basically a week. It's fantastic. You could ask.
And
it's great.
That's funny. I thought you were going to bring up a different stat I saw today where it was, we're up top 5 in pass completions out of any team at MLS.
Yeah.
First 2 games.
Mamma mia.
It's like and the thing is it's one thing to say you're going to play a particular way and then try it and not succeed, but it's like there's another thing to be like, no, we're going to do this, and then you actually do it. Just kind of sick. I don't know.
And it's snowball effect. Like they're gelling more. Vibes are off the charts. VAR, shout out DSG boys. VAR is off the charts. Boys are getting ready. It's just going to snowball. Like they just started playing together. So very excited.
But no, that was any other remaining thoughts on our first home game?
We don't have to dive into it, but don't do that stupid fucking chant. All right,
we don't have to dive into it. Don't fucking do it.
Get over it, y'all. Get over it.
It'll get squashed.
Yeah,
but just don't do it. It's not time and a place. It's not there. So don't do it.
Yep.
There's no time and place for that.
There's no time and place for it. I misspoke.
Hey,
that was not the time. What I meant to say was that's not the time and place for it. There is no time and place for it. But that's being said,
everybody's just over it.
It's just over.
So let's make a run and enjoy this next season coming up, huh? I'll make a run. Chris, let's make a run together, boy.
They're both making runs.
I have a hole in my sweater.
Good job, everybody.